Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick. Hello. Today we're having a look at the Cybernetica Datasmith.
Why are his feet gold?
They're not. He stood on a cogwheel.
Is there a purpose for him stood on a cogwheel?
Yeah, because you get a load of cogwheels and stuff in the box. And I decided to base all these guys on sort of
What's called it?
mechanicus stuff that's got snow over it. So that's what I went for. Sorry, anyway.
It makes it look like he's connected to something.
Yeah, because he's got all these little pipes and stuff sticking out of him. Although the camera doesn't like to focus today. So the reason I'm doing this as a separate video is because I knew the Castellian robot video would be a long one because there's a lot of history there. And I thought that the Datasmith, even though when you buy them you get the Datasmith in the box with the Castellian robots, I'd do a separate video on the Datasmith because there are different rules for him. And you don't want to do two different rule sets in the same video.
Does he really have any history behind him?
Yes, he is a Datasmith. He is a... the closest you get to a tech marine for the mechanicus. So they're highly technical with all their stuff. They even have the little servo arm and everything. And they have this here which plugs into any sort of device. He can walk up to a rhino or land raider or a robot and plug himself in and carry out repairs and stuff like that.
Plug himself into your tank?
Yeah, yeah, actually do that.
Does that mean if he was on the battlefield he could fix a Crusader tank?
Yes.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
But
a Titan?
Yes.
That tiny guy can fix a Titan?
Well, he can probably find, if it loses part of its arm, he can probably find a way of rerouting power to its weapon another way.
So that arm will just be firing on the floor?
Yeah, so the arm will be on the floor firing away. Just, yeah. Bear in mind your tank, your Land Raider that you're using over there, that has a tech priest in it, a tech marine in it, who can repair one system or one wound each turn anyway.
What, the Crusader tank?
Yes.
I never knew that.
It's in your rule chart, yeah.
Does that mean when we do it again I can just roll saves on it?
Yeah.
Oh, you should tell me that.
I thought you knew.
I'm illiterate.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot. You originally went to school in Yorkshire.
Yeah, and then all schools closed down,
yeah,
so...
they don't teach you reading there, do they? just teach you how to read
reading?
flying bottles. Yes.
What's a bottle?
One of those things you drink out of.
A can?
Yes. Right, well we used to have bottles when we were young.
Yeah, I know, it was great, it tastes way better.
Yeah, and then they banned bottles and said you can't have them because they're made out of glass and glass is bad. And instead we're going to have plastic bottles instead. And then they said, oh, plastic bottles are bad. What are they going to replace them with? Right, so the Cybernetic Datasmith. He carries a gamma pistol, which is a pistol. Strength 6, -3 AP, reroll to wound versus vehicles.
Very good.
So it's a bit like a haywire.
Would the Gret and Clean one count as a vehicle?
No. It's technically a living creature.
Well, technically all the cars are technically living.
Even the Titans. But that would be a vehicle.
No, definitely a vehicle.
Because
it's a creature inside
yes.
a vehicle.
Yes. Although Titans often still have their crew. Although the crew is tied to the Titan, they can't leave the Titan.
Just as the Dreadnought.
Yes. Although normally Imperial Titans, the crew get in and out. And they live in bunks and stuff, but they only sit inside. But if a crewman gets too tied up with the Titan, he ends up in a vat. Permanently slave to the Titan.
That's nice.
Yes, which is what happens to the massive Titan in Hell's Reach.
Yeah, I'd about to say.
Because she can't leave the Titan.
She's stuck.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so he carries a gamma pistol, which is a strength 6 weapon, -3 AP, and it is designed to take on tanks. so you re-roll your damage against tanks because it's got some sort of haywire thing built into it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. He also has a power fist, but unlike the robots, the power fist minuses 1 to hit. So it's like a normal Space Marine power fist. Strength 8, AP minus 3, D3 damage, which is pretty good. It's a power fist. Power fist are pretty good.
Minus D3.
D3 damage.
Well, I mean, it means only just 3 damage per hit.
But it can do 3 hits. It's got 2.
So
it's the 2 hits. It's got 2
So
attacks.
altogether it could do 6 damage.
Yes. So he moves 6 inches, so he can't keep up with the robots. He has a weapon skill of 3+, ballistic of 3+, making it better than the robots. He's got toughness and strength of 4, 4 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, save 2+. So the save of a Terminator, which is pretty good. Now into special rules. We have Refractor Field. That has a 5+ invulnerable save, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We also have Master of Machines. Now, this means that we're having hailstone. It's the middle of summer and we're having it's beginning of summer?
Yeah.
It's hailstone.
And sun out as well.
It's sunny and hailstony. The universe has truly gone mad. Sorry, where was I? Master of Machines. Now, the Datasmith is a tech marine for all intent and purpose, and if you have any form of machine, be it a robot, which is what he's usually accompanying, on the battlefield anyway, a Land Raider, a Rhino, a Battle Titan, a insert name of machine, he can automatically repair D3 wounds every turn.
Damn.
Yes.
He's like immortal.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
How many wounds is he?
He's got 4.
Ooh. Can he heal himself?
No.
Oh.
No, for that you need a medic. You need a...
Apothecary.
Yes, apothecary. Well,
I
apothecary...
don't see how apothecary can save a human. Yeah, I know he can save humans, but how can he save a robot?
He's not a robot.
He's got robot face.
Yes, he's a human who's augmented himself massively over...
I don't think he augmented himself to do that.
No, he did. He did. I'm going to go into that in a second. Lastly, he has Canticles of the Omnisire. Now, I need to check if 8th edition is slightly different, because some things in 8th edition will only repair the thing it's designed to use.
Oh.
Which means this guy would only repair D3 on a robot.
That's it.
But in 7th he would repair anything. But he could be a datasmith to a tank, in which case he would only repair the tank. I need to look into that. But at the moment we're just classing him as basically a tech marine,
Alright.
for purposes of the rules. I will look into that. And I will mention it in another video if I find out any different. Right. Now he has Canticles of the Omnisire, which means he re-rolls. He rolls every turn to get the various abilities that the Blessings of the Omnisire give. And I'm not going to go into that in this video. I'm going to go into it on the Dominus video because it's complicated. Now, the Cybernetica Datasmith was originally a perfectly normal tech priest of Mars, tech guy of Mars. Just one of these guys. Now, when you are in the Adeptus Mechanicus, you begin your training and you can take any training you want. You're not chosen or anything, you pick your own training. So you can take in making weapons work, or I'm trying to think how it applies to 40k. You could take in transferring minds into machines or something, or whatever thing that the tech guys are working on.
Mm-hmm.
And you could take a particular skill like surgery, or a particular skill like weapons training or whatever. and you can move around, and you can do this. You can do this for about 100 years. You can go from place to place to place and train. You don't have to stay on the Forge world you're on. You can go to another Forge world that specialises in something else. You can go to another Forge world that specialises in something else. But at some point, you get to the point where you have a lot of information in your head, and you have to choose a job you're really going to do. Right? So you then have to find a Dominus, who's one of these guys. And the Dominus is an expert in a particular field. And so you go to that world where that Dominus is in charge, or one of the Dominus is in charge, and you say, can I become your apprentice? And the Dominus says, yes, you can. At that point, you're not allowed to do any other training for anything else. So pick something. Pick something off the top of your head.
Master of Strength.
Master of Strength. So making armour and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You choose making armour. From now on, you may have a background of lots of other things, medical stuff and all that sort of stuff. But from now on, you're not allowed to do anything other than that one thing. Right? And for the rest of your life, that is what you will have to do. Unless you become a Dominus.
I take it Dominus can do anything.
Yes. But they have one primary speciality.
I take it there's only a limited number of Dominuses you're allowed to have at one time.
Only a limited number of people survive long enough to be a Dominus.
That's nice.
Yeah. Many people just don't make it, or just decide they're happy just doing a normal job. And these guys, these are not professional soldiers by any means. They're normal tech people who just pick up a gun to fight during war. Most of the time they're repairing toilets or making the phone lines run quicker, whatever. So once you get really good at doing something, you become a datasmith. And that's who this guy is. He's reached the point where he has a specialist field. Now, in 40k game terms, the only thing that matters is the battlefield. And therefore, his ability is repairing vehicles, getting vehicles working. So that's his reason for being on the battlefield. The guy who's an expert at cleaning toilets, he's not needed in 40k. So that datasmith, he's here, carrying a normal rifle, right? So he hasn't got a power arm or anything. He's the guy carrying a rifle, because toilets aren't important during warfare.
God no.
Right? So that's why this guy exists in the 40k battlefield, because his ability is to do this. Now, I would assume there would also be a sort of medic as well. A datasmith who's a medic. But I haven't looked into it. And I haven't looked into all the different things you can get. But I would assume there would be a character who could do that. But that's the basic background to this guy. Now, all people on Mars augment themselves to make themselves better. The Martians believe that the machine is purity, right? And there's two schools of thought. One school of thought means to get closer to the machine god, the Omnissiah, you must effectively make yourself as close as to a perfect machine as possible.
So like a Dominus.
Like a Dominus. So you replace your eyes with lenses. You replace your arm with a power arm. You replace, you replace everything you need. Oh, my heart's not good. I might have a heart attack. I'll replace it with a nuclear reactor. Right? So you get all this sort of Tony Stark sort of thing. So you get all these upgrades to the point where you are the closest you can get to being the Omnissiah, the perfect machine. And the other school of thought is the perfect machine are humans. Right? Because humans are machines to the Martians. We're maybe biological machines, but we're machines. And the whole point is to keep that machine running.
Yeah.
Right? So you get someone like Belisarius Cawl, who looks exactly like this, because this is the painting they used for the books. Whenever you see Cawl, that's the painting. Belisarius Cawl doesn't believe in augmenting one's body in order to be closer to the machine spirit. It's something you have to do because that part of your body stopped working. So Belisarius Cawl realised he could only hold a certain amount of information. So he had himself a second brain upgrade to make himself hold more information. Later on, another guy, a tech magi, who was close friends with the Emperor at one point. He was one of the men who created the Space Marines. He wanted to augment himself. He was dying. And so what he decided to do was transfer himself into a very clever human. And he transferred himself into Belisarius Cawl, because Belisarius Cawl had this upgrade to his brain, enabling him to hold more information, thinking he would wipe Cawl. Of course, Cawl had designed it so in case anyone ever tried to do that, it would wipe the original personality, but give him all the knowledge of the original guy, which meant Cawl now suddenly gained the knowledge of how to create Space Marines.
That's nice.
And was the only person in the universe who knew how to create Space Marines. And so, after the heresy, here's Rabute Gilman crying into his soup, saying, oh no, we're now stuck with what we've got, we can't create new things. And he talks to Cawl and says, is there any chance we can make new Space Marines? And Cawl says, yes, of course we can, I've got all the knowledge. And so he creates the Primaris. That's a very quick version of what happened, by the way. It's way more complex than that. So Cawl goes off and creates the Primaris Marines, and he puts them on ice, because what happens to Rabute?
Oh, he dies.
He dies. And who was the only one who knew?
Roberta Gilman and
Yes.
Cawl, and Cawl only takes orders
From Rabute Gilman.
So just hide them.
So Cawl spends the next 10,000 years mass producing Space Marines, these massively augmented Space Marines.
While we lose the war.
And we're losing the war all the time. And Roberto Gilman comes back, and the whole universe has gone to Hades.
But he has his own empire.
Yes, he has got his own empire. The whole universe is falling apart. The empire is on its last knees. Terra's about to be assaulted. And he meets Cawl and says, where are my Space Marines? They're here. They're all on ice. They've been sleeping for 10,000 years. Do you want them? Yes.
They don't feel like us, do they?
No, they don't. They don't. That's the problem, isn't it? That's because Cawl had taken a speciality, and therefore nothing else applied at that point. Cawl actually has a guy called Fendish following him around, a servitor called Fendish, and Fendish was his best friend, and Fendish died, and so he clones him.
That's nice.
And for the last 10,000 years, he clones his best friend so he can have a best friend to play with. Not that Fendish remembers. But yeah, so he's always got his best friend with him. That's so sweet, isn't it?
So his friend can never actually die?
No.
That's nice.
And Fendish would have been absolutely horrified if he'd have known that was happening. Yeah, when Fendish died the first time, the guy who transferred his brain into Cawl's brain, he shot Fendish. And this guy was, of course, a biologicus, so he could cure people. And he said, I will save Fendish's life if you let me transfer my brain into you. And so he says, okay. And because he now suddenly becomes a biologica. So he's a tech guy, so Cawl's a tech guy who becomes a biologica as well, because he's now got the biologica's brain. And so he, instead of saving Fendish, he makes a new one. I'm wounded. It's okay. I'll make a new one. Don't worry about it. It's just like the original guy. Why cure him?
Yeah, exactly.
Just make a new one. Yeah, just make a new one. I have thousands of you on the ship.
Oh god.
Just in pots, ready to pop out. So that's the path that the Datasmith has chosen, and the Datasmith is on his way to eventually becoming a Dominus, although it will probably take this guy another 400 or 500 years.
And then die in combat.
And possibly die in combat before he gets there. But if he dies in combat, what use would he be as a Dominus?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Are you aware that the Dominus in this field got murdered, right?
No, he rolled a 1 on his save roll when hit by the Flesh Eater virus. So rolling 1 on the save roll meant he turned into a zombie, basically, and actually a augmented zombie.
Never right, I'm pretty sure you plasma gunned him.
I did.
You did.
And it did hardly anything to him.
And they died, so that means the Dominus is dead for that planet.
Yes, this planet has lost its Dominus.
Which means that he would become the Dominus.
Yes. So that's an opportunity right there.
Skip the 500 years of training.
It is.
Dominance.
I'm now dominant. That's it. Right, so I think that's all the history and stuff of what these guys are. Do we need anything else to add? No, nothing. No, so that's it. He's a HQ choice, by the way, if you care. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. But that's the Cybernetica Datasmith. So, yeah. Do you want to do the outro?
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please press like, subscribe and press the bell icon. And we'll see you next time. That's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from him. Goodbye.
See ya.